Good evening. I'm Rabbi Myers, Dean and Director of Meorot Yerushalayim, coming to you from our headquarters on Kanfei Nishrim number 68 in Jerusalem, Israel. It's the home of world-famous rice cakes, strawberry yogurts of distinction, and it's the premier seminary in this building, Merkaz Oranim. Tonight, a special Purim investigative report. At first glance, the year appeared normal. Girls were learning. They were starting to bond, occasionally signing in on time for period one. The usual day-to-day drama one expects from a gap-year seminary. And yet, something felt off. There were patterns, dripping, flooding inside the dorms, sleepouts multiplying mysteriously, curfew excuses that seemed rehearsed, and a frozen dairy hub across the street somehow evolving to an unofficial satellite campus. At first, we dismissed it. We were wrong. Let's begin with what everyone knows. The Ruzhin dorm flooded. Not once, not twice, but as if someone upstairs kept refilling the sky.
At first I said it's plumbing, but then I said it's gravity. Then I said someone did not appreciate the penal vodka, because in my world, infrastructure and food are connected. When the kugel is respected, pipes are stable. If someone says lunch is fine, something cracks. This year, everything cracked. The showers, sometimes they worked, sometimes they didn't. Hot water, cold water, no water. Toilet seats, loose, detached. We finally got the Wi-Fi fixed. Now mirrors are cracking off the wall left and right. It's not normal. It's not normal. And what disturbed me most, that every time the girls discussed sleeping out, water. Water everywhere. Water upstairs, water downstairs, water in Rojin, water in the school, water in Chelson. We finally moved everyone to Mishkolov, and then the boiler doesn't work. Even the plumber said, these tsaros are following you. I'm not like Haman, chas v'shalom, who believes that everything is coincidence. It's all from Hashem, but what could it mean? I told the girls not to put food under the bed. Maybe it's shady. Maybe we should get the mezuzahs checked. What is the message? What is Hashem trying to tell us here? What could this all mean? Hashem Yishmor.
At the time we laughed, we said, it's just one of those years. But then came the sleepouts.
At the beginning of the year, a sleepout was an event. By mid-year, it was a lifestyle. Girls began speaking phrases like, I'll probably be out. I'm basically sleeping in. I'm emotionally adjacent to the dorm. Curfew became interpretive. The excuses became professional. One girl said that she was late due to a deep conversation. With who? With myself. Another cited transportation fluctuations. That means she missed the bus. But then I noticed something. Different girls, different personalities, identical language. It's about opportunity. It's about wellness. It's about air circulation. That's when I realized someone was feeding them those lines.
what I observed. Medical appointments shifted. The nurse changed days. Doctors relocated. Girls arrived at the wrong clinic. One had an appointment that didn't exist. Another one had 3 at once. When I began tracking doctors, allergies, medications, referrals, the confusion spiked on the same days as infrastructure challenges. The same days, Katsefer was suddenly required for emotional health. At first I assumed coincidence. Then I stopped assuming.
I didn't see sabotage, I felt it. When the girls sing Hallel together, you can hear unity, harmony, and this year the harmony was beautiful, arms around each other, tears in eyes, and the second the final note ended, someone would whisper, "Can you find me a place for Shabbos?" Not next week, tomorrow. Sometimes after they already had a place. One message read, "Hi, tiny thing, my host canceled, or I canceled. It's unclear. Can you fix it?" Fix it? It's 30 minutes before candlelighting. Different girls, different personalities. Same sentence. My plans fell through. Fell through what? A trap door?
I know the market. Mahomayan, clean branding. Bear Miriam, stable infrastructure. And suddenly, I hear, my friend at Mahomayan says they don't flood. Bear Miriam has consistent hot water. That's not casual comparison. That's messaging. Someone was planting doubt.
It was at this point that Mrs. Spitz submitted a formal briefing.
Infrastructure instability, emotional instability, logistical instability, increased references to external institutions, an unexplained rise in free time. There is no such thing as free time. Free time is a security risk. We implemented countermeasures. Structured schedules, clear communication, defense planning. And yet, the more structure we added, the more chaos surfaced. Almost as if someone knew our strategy inside and understood our systems.
After weeks of investigation, we identified the source, the mole.
The pattern pointed to someone who understood our schedule, controlled structure, knew our vulnerabilities, influenced emotional climate, had connections across Jerusalem. Someone disciplined, strategic, who views free time as a threat.
Mrs. Spitz.
You think I am the mole?
Mrs. Spitz, you implemented security drills the week internships increased. You predicted structural weaknesses. You knew about the nurse schedule changes before I did. And you once referred to Machon Mayan as efficient.
Yes, I studied Machon Maayan. I studied Ber Miriam. I study every seminary. Because if I know their strengths, I can make Meorot stronger. The leaks, plumbing, the sleepouts, teenagers, the internships, growth. You think I sabotaged us? No, I prepared us. If Meorot can survive floods, curfew negotiations, all kinds of things, temptation, dairy temptation, medical confusion, and 18-year-olds discovering autonomy, it can survive anything.
So the madness wasn't sabotage, it was growth, and growth is not tidy. There was no rival infiltration, there was no mole, only a staff that takes every challenge personally, and young Jewish women becoming adults in real time. You can flood the pipes, you can test the system, plant the rumors. We're still Meorot, and we're not going anywhere. This has been a special Purim investigative report from Kanfei Nesharim 68 in Yerushalayim. Good night.